Okay, this is section 5, number 18 from our diagnostic test that we've been working on in class. And this problem says, in one basketball game, Tamara made 50% of her shots, and in the next game, she made 60% of her shots. In the two games, she made 52% of her shots altogether. If she took A shots in the first game and B shots in the second game, what is the value of A over B? All right, so first of all, they're giving us some information about the number of shots she took in each game and then the number of shots she actually made. So she threw up 8 shots in the first game. She made 50% of them. She threw up B shots in the second game. She made 60% of them. And then they're telling us that means for all the shots she took in the 2 games, she made 52% of them. So we can make an equation out of this because basically they're telling us 2 different ways to talk about how many shots she actually hit. Actually made. So one way to talk about it is to say, okay, well, in the first game, she made A shots, and she made 50% of those. So 0.50 times A is how many she made in the first game. And then in the second game, she made 60% of her shots, so she made 60% of the B shots she took. And then they tell us another way to talk about it. They say she made 52% of all her shots that she made together. So we're just telling we're talking about 2 ways to say the same thing. How many shots did she make? Okay, on the left side of this equation, we're saying she made 50% of the shots she made in the first game plus 60% of the shots she made in the second game. On the right side of the equation, we're saying she made 52% of her total shots. So these 2 things are the same. They equal because we're just talking about the same thing in 2 different ways. All right, so really all you have to do now is solve this equation and figure out what A over B is. Now remember, this question is not asking for A, it's not asking for B, it's asking for A over B. So when we solve it, that's what we're trying to get. All right, so the first thing we can do is distribute on the right side of the equation and get 0.52A plus 0.52B. Now we can subtract 0.5A on both sides. And they'll cancel over here, and we'll end up with 0.60B equals 0.02A plus 0.52B. Now we can subtract 0.52B on both sides. Now this is going to cancel here, and we're going to end up with 0.08B equals 0.02A. All right, so what we want to do here, we're trying to get the answer A over B. So we can start doing that by dividing both sides of this equation by B. If we if we divide both sides by B, B's are going to cancel on the left side. We'll end up with 0.08. And then on the right side, we're going to have 0.02A over B. Now, we've almost got A over B on the right side here, but we need to get rid of that 0.02. So to do that, we're going to divide both sides by 0.02. So we're going to have 0.08 divided by 0.02. And then if we divide the right side by 0.02, it's going to cancel, and we'll just end up with A over B. So we've got what we wanted, but we haven't reduced it. We need to get this fraction looking the way it should. So we would cancel out, and we would end up with 8 over 2, which is the same thing as 4. So A over B is 4. And that's all there is to it.